this short video, I want to show you my top 5 favorite hamstring and calf stretches. So I do these quite a lot when I do my own yoga practice and thought I'll share them with you. We're going to start with one stretch that I don't really know if that is an actual yoga pose or but that's just something I've come up with. So we're going to sit in the easy cross-legged, and then we're going to take one leg sort of off, so probably the top leg. The other leg still stays bent and quite close to our seat. And then we're going to try and bring our hands around our foot. So the sole of the foot is in the palm of our hands and our hands are into this. We try to sit up nice and straight. Maybe sit up here, lift the foot off the ground and then straighten that leg. So, and then bend it again. Here I want you to be a bit mindful of your hip, because this does go in the hip, so if that is uncomfortable then you don't have to do it. Or you could also get a belt and bring that belt around your foot. And by doing that it's longer and you can have the leg a bit less close into the thigh, less close into your chest, and really that's helping you with straightening and bending your leg. When I do this, as I said, I bring my hands around my foot, I'll try to sit up and then I'll straighten it here. I try to bring my leg as straight as I can and as close into my body as I can, and then I bend it again. Do that again, and this really works your calf, and the calf, for me, I feel that close to the inside of the knee, where I sometimes feel niggles when I get in my first down dog, so I tend to do this before I start my sun salutations. And one more. And let's go off that and do the other side. Obviously you can do that as much or as little as you want, and at any point in your yoga practice. Let's bring the other foot. So I've just bent my other knee. The foot is quite close to the opposite glute. Interlacing my fingers, bring them around, sitting up tall, opening my chest, not rounding my back here. In, sitting up, and then doing that again, trying to bring that leg, that thigh, as close as I can into my body. Bending it, quite controlled movements here. And one more. Bending it and letting go. Okay, lovely. So the next, so that was the first one. The next two that we're going to do, fantastic hamstring stretches, are forward fold, Uttanasana, and downward facing dog, Adho. And best way to getting to do these is we're going to do a few sun salutations. Let's do two. The first one I just moved through, and then the second one we can stay in those poses a little bit longer. Let's do it. Let's stand up. We'll stand up in front of our mat, feet together. If we find that uncomfortable, you can also bring your feet hip width apart. But wherever you are, we're going to lift our toes off the mat, spread them wide, lowering down one at a time. Maybe if you want, I enjoy lifting my heels here. Don't feel the need to do that if that doesn't do anything for you. Engaging our core, our perineum, our pelvic floor. Inhale, we're rolling our shoulders up, back and down, opening our chest, palms facing up. We're looking forward. So someone's pulling us by the top of our head, standing really nice and tall, but we're tucking the chin ever so slightly. Lovely. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, engaging the core, we're folding forward, Uttanasana. You can have the thumbs, hands on the floor here, or hands to shins. It's early if your hamstrings are a bit tight. Inhale, exhale, hands down. I'm going to step back with the right foot, followed by the left foot. Inhale here, exhale, knees, chest and chin down. Inhale, we're sliding into a cobra, untucking the toes, shoulders into, pulling back, elbows into the body, looking forward. Exhale, pushing into a down dog, maybe stepping our feet in a little bit. In down dog, our hands are shoulder width apart, middle fingers pointing forward, shoulders away from the ears, nice flat back, bending the knees if you need to. It's totally fine. Feet are hip width apart, toes pointing forward, and we're imagining that we're pulling our heels to the ground just to engage those calves as well. They don't have to touch the ground. One more breath here. And with the next inhale, we're going to step forward with that right foot in between the hands, followed by the left foot. Inhale, we're going to do a half forward fold, hands to shins in or fingertips to mat. Exhale, full forward fold, hands down. You can bend your knees here. If you want to stick with a half forward fold, that's fine too. And inhale, we're coming up. Exhale, hands down. Lovely. Inhale, another round. I'll show you a bit of more faster version of it as well if you wanted to do that. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, engaging the core. We're folding down, hands down. If you wanted, you could do a half forward fold for this as well. Inhale, we're coming into half forward fold. Fingertips to mat, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down. Either you're stepping back, left leg now, and then the right, or you could bend your knees and try to jump back. Lovely, jumping into plank. And here in plank, we can either come down, knees, chest and shin. Then as we inhale, slide into cobra, or you could come through a chaturanga. So shifting our weight forward, rocking forward on our toes, bending our elbows, and inhale, rolling forward into an upward facing dog. And exhale, pushing into a downward facing dog from up dog or cobra. Okay, in this down dog, I want to show you a few options for what you can do to activate your hamstrings and work your hamstrings a bit more. What you can do is you can walk your feet. Easy one. Just walking our feet, bending one knee, trying to bring the heel of the other foot closer to the ground. Bending the other knee, trying to bring the heel of the other foot close to the ground. You can do that as fast or as slow as you want. What you can also do is you can lift one leg off the mat, come to a three-legged dog with one leg into the air, pushing into the hands still. Then do the other side. That's quite good because more of your weight is now in the leg that's on the floor, meaning that you might be able to get your heel closer to the ground, stretching that calf, that hamstring more. You can also do what I quite enjoy is come into this three-legged dog, but reaching, really reaching with the back foot, tapping the toe back. Somehow that activates my leg more. I quite enjoy this. Then doing the other side, reaching back. And coming back into our down dog. One breath here. You can either step forward with the left, followed by the right, or you can bend your knees, looking between the space between your hands, and jump forward into a forward fold, half forward fold here, hands to shins, fingertips to mat. Exhale, full forward fold, bending the knees, staying in half forward fold if you prefer. And then inhale, we're coming up. Exhale, hands in, hands bent down. So that was down dog. A couple of options there. Walking the dog, three-legged dog. So pick your favorite. And I want to show you for a couple of versions for forward fold. Forward fold, we're going to move forward and just standard full forward fold. Hands by the feet, trying to bring our forehead close to our shins. So folding down, and in forward fold, we're pushing the mat forward with our hands. If you don't like this, if that's too much, you can just stay in a half forward fold. Forward fold is Uttanasana in Sanskrit. And here, if you're in half forward fold, maybe try and shift your weight a little bit forward so your weight is not too far back, but a little bit more into the balls of your feet, and that will activate your hamstrings a lot more. If you're in this pose, the full forward fold, Uttanasana, one thing I've been doing, which I really enjoy, is lifting one leg off the ground. I'm really trying to straighten the standing leg now. Bring that foot in, almost like a flamingo. I'm standing here and then trying to bring that foot to the ground while still having my hands in contact with the ground. It's easier if your hands are quite a bit forward to lift one leg up and then place it down without lifting the hands off the ground. But that's just a little challenge I've got with myself right now. Let's do that one more time, lifting one leg, one foot off, kicking it and bringing it, pointing it to the ceiling, engaging that foot, lowering it down, and other side. Now bring it down. Inhaling here. Exhale, let's fold down and inhale, counter standing. Exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. So that was 3. The next ones are going to be on the floor. So let's sit down, come to the floor in a controlled way. And the next one that I quite enjoy is Jano Shishasana B, or the second version of Jano Shishasana. That's one of the poses in the Ashtanga primary series, and it's a bit of a weird one. And if you don't like it, just do the standard Janu Shishasana. I'll show you that now. Okay, so for Janu Shishasana, we're going to sit in Paschimottanasana, in seated forward fold. We're going to bring one foot in, so I'm bringing my left leg, bending my left knee, left sole of the foot against the inner thigh, my right thigh. And you want to bring your foot as close to your groin as you possibly can. If this is what you can do, that's great. If that is what you can do, that is also fine. There's no better or worse here. The only thing you don't want to do is try not to have it like right on your knee, because if there is at any point where it's sort of putting a bit of pressure with your foot against your leg, which you really shouldn't be doing, but if that happens, your knee is obviously quite a sensitive joint, so just anywhere apart from the knee. Okay, so sitting here, and this is standard Janu Shishasana. So we sit like this, and then we would try to bring like micro twist, as one of my yoga teachers used to say. So bringing our chest face over that straight leg, inhaling the arms up and folding forwards, either holding the calf, the ankle, the foot, or again, if you have a belt, you also hold that belt. That is Janu Shishasana A, standard Janu Shishasana. And coming up here, letting go. For Janu Shishasana B, we're going to sit on the left foot with the right glute and stretch that. So we're going to sit here, there's still a gap between our legs, and now we're going to again reach forward to that foot. So we're going to either again hold the calf, the ankle, the foot, or the belt. And because we've got this elevation here, this very slight elevation sitting on our foot, for me this activates the hamstrings so much more, it stretches it so much more. And yeah, that's why I quite like this one. Let's stay here for 2 breaths. Okay, and with the next inhale, we're looking up, and then we're letting go. Still the same thing on the other side. So we're stretching the left leg out now. Bringing the right foot against the inner thigh. Again, the foot as close to your groin as you can, wherever works for you. For standard Janu Shishasana A, we're going to sit up here, bring our chest face over our leg. Inhale, we're going to fold wherever we can, calf, ankle, foot, or using our belt. Inhale here, exhale, inhale, look up and come up here. Obviously for Janu Shishasana B or 2 now, we're going to sit on our foot. That is where we would want to, there you would have your foot obviously below your glutes. You couldn't do that with your foot on your calf. Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me, but you give it a go. There's so many options you can do. So sitting on our foot here, and inhale, and exhale, reaching again wherever we can, and staying one breath. And with the next inhale, we're going to look up, and exhale, going to come out. Lovely. So that one is definitely one of my favourites. So we've done 4 now. One more. I think for that one, let's just go with standard Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold, always a classic. Do it in pretty much all my classes. So we're going to sit with our legs out straight, sitting nice and tall. If you find it difficult, if you feel like you're collapsing into your lower back here, sitting with your legs out, what you could do is you could roll your mat up a little bit. So roll your mat up like this, and then sit a bit elevated, and that will help sitting up nice and tall. This is an option there. There's always versions to make a pose accessible for your body, because yoga's for everyone, and in any class you do, if someone gives you a pose to do, that is just, in my opinion, that's just a suggestion. So sitting out, legs straight, sitting up nice and tall, toes are flexed, pointing to the ceiling. By doing that, you're already activating your calves. And you might already feel your whole leg is active, rather than when your feet are sort of flopping about. So flexing those feet. Chest is nice and open, shoulders are pulling down. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, folding from the hip, we're hinging from the hip here. And we're not going to yank and round our upper back. We're going to hold wherever we can and keep our chest open like we're sitting. And here again, you can use a belt, bring more around the balls of your feet and pull on your belt to pull yourself a little deeper. Again, nice flat back. If you don't have a belt, you can also hold your calves, your ankles, your feet. You could also bend your knees to come into this forward fold, but that for me takes the stretch out of my calves and my hamstrings, so I personally don't really see that keeps the pose going. So it's a lot better, in my opinion, to just use a belt or hold on to your legs. Stay here for 2 breaths. Okay, inhale, let's look up. And exhale, let's let go. Lovely. Great, so those are my top 5 hamstring and calf stretches. Most of them you do in any yoga class anyways, because you do down dogs, you do sun salutation, so that's when you do forward fold, Uttanasana, or Adho downward facing dog. I said the one where I kick into my hand, where we sit like this, that is just one that that really works for me. And yeah, Jano Shishasana B and Paschimottanasana, they're some of my favorites. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.